Hi, thanks for coming through to this video today. This is a time-lapse video of a pet portrait that was created for a friend, and I'm using pastel pencils as well as pastel matte paper and pan pastels. So I first of all lay down the background as a very light, light to medium grey colour, and then I'm going in. I use, instead of using the official pan pastel soft tools, I tend to use makeup brushes just because they take a bit more of a beating on pastel matte paper, whereas the soft tools, they do tend to get ruined quite quickly because the pastel matte is quite a rough paper. So my first layer is just on the actual dog itself, is coming in and patching in the basic background colours that I'm going to build up from. And obviously this is the really ugly stage. This is the stage where I'm literally putting in values of colour appropriate to the area of the dog and what I'm going to put on top. So some of the areas are dark grey, where the nose and the mouth is, and some of the areas are more of that creamy, kind of creamy brown colour. For the rest of the body, it's like a natural colour. Before I carry on, please do subscribe to the channel. I have lots of paintings, drawing, colouring videos available for you to check out. See if there's something you'd like to have a go at. I also have lots of freebies on my website, free colouring sheets, downloadables for you to trace and then paint along with me. And there's also links below for painting kits. So if you wanted to join in with my painting kits and join in with the lessons, and you could do that as well. Anyway, here I am concentrating on the ear. Sorry, it seems to be slightly out of shot. I was just using my phone for this rather than the computer screen, so I couldn't see what was in picture and what wasn't. But hopefully you get the general idea. I'm just building up the ears, blocking in the different darks and lights, going a bit further, focusing more on the colour of those darks and lights as well. Don't be afraid to put down quite dark colours, because once you smoosh them in with the rest of the pastels, they do tend to fade out a bit. So yeah, try to go for it a bit. You can always rub it off and go over it anyway. So sometimes I put down marks that I'm just going to rub in and smooth out, and then towards the end I'll come in with marks that are slightly more detailed. You can see on this one, it's quite a smooth haired dog. There's not too many kind of furry details, so most of it is smoothed out. There I made a little mistake, but I come back there later anyway and just use the background grey to smooth out the side of the face again where I came out. Now I'm adding in here on the face some kind of greeny yellow colours, because actually when I looked at the photo, I don't know where the dog was, but there must have been some kind of green reflection going on in the dog's fur. So then I decided, I've got an idea of the face and the ears now. I want to go in for the eyes. I want to start to make it look a bit more real, because what I do when I'm creating these is I look at the dog's face overall. I don't tend to just look at one little section. That's why I go around all different areas, because I'm looking for the overall feel and effect, rather than just building up. I know a lot of coloured pencil artists tend to go in little patches, which I get with coloured pencils, because you can only work very, very slowly with coloured pencils. But the joy of pastels is you can spread them out and fill in bigger areas quite quickly. So yeah, here I am with the pencils, just going over now and putting in as much detail. I'm looking at the detail of the picture. I'm trying to work out exactly what colours are in the colours I'm seeing, because it's very easy to just presume that something is brown or black or cream. When you look closer, it actually isn't. There's other things there. I'm putting blue at the bottom edge of the eye. There's a little blue reflection on the eye there. And the face and the eyes really are very, very important, because it's the bit that people look at and get the emotion of the artwork from. So it's really important to focus a lot on the face and the eye area and the nose and mouth, because that is what brings out the character of the animal, of course. The ears and the body are less important. I would say the ears are still quite important, but the body can just be smoothed down and kind of pushed into the background, whereas the face has to be brought forward to the front of the picture with as much detail as possible. So yeah, we're still in very much the ugly stage, where I'm marking in as much as I can the various areas and sections where they're darker and lighter, and just keeping on going basically until I feel as though I'm actually getting to the point where it's looking like the dog in the picture. But I am dotting around, and I like to do that. I don't like to focus on one area all the time. I like to go for an overall feel, usually using one colour at a time, or at least 3 values of the one colour. Sometimes I'll use the darker, the medium, or the light of one colour. And I was going over the top quite a bit of that browny orangey kind of fur colour with that very, very pale cream, and it just kind of helped to smooth the fur out a bit. So again, the nose here, really important to get this right. I went in to do the nose quite a few times, and really important to get the mouth right as well. So just constantly observing, keep observing. The joy of the pastels is once you've popped it down, you can really kind of, I say, smoosh it into each other, and help to give that realistic effect. I am drawing in sort of kind of exact lines there and filling in because they are there on the dog. You can see those lines on the dog. There's what I was saying about that lighter cream colour. It kind of just helps to push the colour back a bit, and it helps to spread that pastel out and smooth it out a little bit. Don't be afraid to get those dark blacks in either, because that really helps the lighter parts to look much lighter as well. So again, I'm just going in and trying to spot areas of detail, of different values of dark and light, which is what helps bring it to life. And I just keep going over it, checking the photo until I'm happy. Oh, on those lines I did put some dots. They're like where the whiskers are coming out, and I just felt like I needed to put those in. This was about 4 hours, so it doesn't take anywhere near as long as coloured pencil, but what you could do with this is go over it with coloured pencil if you wanted to do specific details and things, but I'm usually pretty happy just to stick to pastel pencils for everything. Now, the one side of the dog was darker and more brown than the other side. Must have been something to do with the lighting in the room, but it was more of a darker brown, and the other side was more of like an olivey, greeny brown colour. So I need to make sure I got that right to reflect the lightness of the dog, but also of the environment it was in and where the light was coming from. A little bit more finishing off on the face, and back to the ears again to really get the detail and bring them to life again as well. They are what I class as part of the face, so they need to be quite detailed too, but I feel as though I don't need to worry as much on the ears. It's all about the face, but I do spend a while getting in some more detail and putting them right to how I want them, really. I'm not a hyper-realism artist. The most I would want to spend on any piece of work is 6 to 8 hours maximum. And if I was doing this in coloured pencils, it would be a lot more than that, a lot more. Once I feel as though the face is coming along, I then head on to the body area. And although I said we don't want too much detail, what we do want is the variations in the skin and fur of dark and light. Marking in the darker areas, which helps to give the movement of the body I think we're pretty much nearly there, apart from a few little finishing touches. Hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe and follow, and let me know if there's something you'd like to see me do on here. Take care, everyone. Have a good day.